If I were to die right now, with me chopping it up with A$AP Rocky, with me chopping it up with Mark Wahlberg or Mark Cuban, or going to the Simon charity match, would any of that really matter, Chad?
He said that it wouldn't be hard to put away the world. What we do is we talk ourselves out of obeying God in faith. But Jidion acted. He said, I want to show you better than I can tell you.
No, with my own selfish needs. Bro, I don't need any more money.
So, I know we're late, but we're going to be reacting to Jidion giving up the half in, half out lifestyle, and he is now giving of himself to the Lord Jesus Christ fully. Let's get into this video. Y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe if you have not, and let's get right into it.
Time to talk to y'all boys, man. You know what? I'm not going to let Cry Dion come out. There's no point in letting Cry Dion. I thought for a second, your boys trying to turn to God, y'all. I'm not trying to put like my pinky toe in no more. I'm not gonna just be sitting on the edge of the pool. I want to jump full in. I want to dive all in, chat. So that's all I'm gonna say. But you know, I don't want to just talk the talk. I want you guys to like see it in my actions. You feel me? I was with my girl. We were Ubering back from her college, and then right when we got back to the crib, the Uber driver, she looked back at us and she asked us a question. Me answering it made my heart sunk, but she said, if you guys were to die right now, would you go to heaven or would you go to hell? I had to be honest with myself. I had to look into myself, and I was like, the way I'm living right now, if God was to take my breath away right now, I'm going to hell. I couldn't even lie about it, chat. You feel me?
And see, the thing about that is such a sobering question. For him to even be in that situation, that's a God situation. Like, that's not just random. It's not just happenstance that happened that way. Because how many of you guys as Uber drivers is asking you, if you die right now, would you go to heaven or hell? In my opinion, that even could have been an angel. You see what I'm saying? So these type of things happen in order for the will and the purpose of God to happen, to take place, right? God knows that Jidion has some level of teaching within him, some level of awareness of God within him, right? And what God's desire was for him, just like everybody else, is that he be saved, right? But not every celebrity is saved. And you got to think about this guy. Jidion is one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. He hangs out with a lot of celebrities, a lot of famous people, right? And so if he were to receive Christ, it would be so monumental for the body of Christ because of the influence that's on his life. He could influence so many younger kids, his audience and his fan base, those who are aware of him and look up to him. He could influence them to accept Jesus Christ himself, right? So even that question and how it was phrased, how it even came about in that situation was a God situation where he had to be real with himself. Even if, he wanted to lie in that situation and be like, oh, I'm going to heaven. Internally, he would think about it. He would say, man, where would I go? Man, how would I get out of this situation? How, if God was to come back right now, or if I was to die right now, would I go to heaven or would I go to hell? That's a sobering thing, man. That'll put some hair on your chest, as they say, right? So that's a awesome way, right? Scary but awesome way to come to God, right? So let's see what else he has to say.
See, chat, I be letting so many worldly things dictate how my day's gonna go. You feel me? You got people out here that are battling cancer, having horrible, being victims of horrible crimes and all kinds of stuff, right? And they still have the ability to put a smile on their face and be genuinely happy. I get a strike on my channel and I'm not able to post for a week. I'm over here in the slumps. You would have thought my dog died, chat, the way I was around here acting when I was gone for that week, bro. Just pouting, being moody, being rude to people. The only reason why I was acting like that is because I'm letting worldly things dictate how my spirit is. And the Bible talks about it all the time. You can't be moved by the world. You have to hate the world. Chat, it's crazy. Like, Jesus is telling me that I have to hate the world, but the world loves me. You feel me? And that's like a honest predicament that I thought I was in. But really, it's an easy solution, bro. Like, if I'm gonna follow the spirit, I'm not gonna have a problem putting away worldly things. And I just had to like look at myself, chat, and I had to just think, if I do follow Jesus, if I do follow his word to tooth and nail of what it is, front to back, then I'm not gonna be Jidion anymore. I'm not gonna be.
Man, that's so sobering, man. Like, this is so crazy because this guy, again, y'all, this guy is one of the most famous YouTubers on the platform, right? He has millions and millions of subscribers, millions and millions of followers on all his social media platforms, right? That are following him and watching his content, consuming what he's saying, patterning their lives after the way that he has succeeded, right? And for him to come to this realization, right? It was God that came to this man and told him, hey, you have to hate the world. Even though the world loves you, you have to hate the world. One thing that stuck out to me that he just said was, he said the reason why it wouldn't be hard is because you are led by the Spirit of God. The Bible talks about that those who are led by the Spirit will not fulfill the lust of the flesh, right? So this dude be reading his Bible. You see what I'm saying? So it's word in him. The Bible also says that the entrance of my word brings light. So he has a capacity. He had a capacity of light in him before he even totally surrendered to God. So this is so amazing that this guy is realizing, hey, I got to turn away from the world. But he said, actually, it wouldn't be hard because if I'm led by the Spirit of God, it won't be that hard. And see, what happens is this is what happens in real life. You know, those moments where you're very bold. You don't care what people think. You do for God in that instance. He tells you to go and sell this. He tells you to go and give this thing away that normally people wouldn't give away or they wouldn't sell. But he tells you to do it, and you do it with such a boldness because you're convicted about it. You have this conviction in you that it's the right thing to do in this moment. But the longer that you linger on it, the longer that you think about it, the longer that you weigh options in your mind of carnality, then it makes it harder to be obedient to God. And that's what happens a lot of times. When God convicts us to do certain things, we sit and we weigh them. We sit and we think about them. Is this going to make sense? Am I still going to make money? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And what we do is we talk ourselves out of obeying God in faith, right? But Jidion acted. He said, I want to show you better than I can tell you, right? So that's so awesome.
Be popping. I'm not gonna be on your guys' For You pages with edits. I'm not gonna be having the ASAP Rockies and the Mark Wahlbergs hit me up. I'm not gonna be having the NBA ask me to do stuff and like for the longest, chat. Like I've been pushing this off for like the last year and a half, 2 years. But I was like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to do it yet. But after that lady got done talking to me, it was like, if I were to die right now, with me chopping it up with ASAP Rocky, with me chopping it up with Mark Wahlberg or Mark Cuban, or going to the Simon charity match, would any of that really matter, chat? No, it really wouldn't. Jesus tells us in the Bible, it's easier for a needle to go through a camel than for a rich man to go to heaven. And chat, man, thanks to you guys, I've acquired a very nice fortune, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but this fortune that I have on earth is nothing compared to the fortune I can have in the kingdom of heaven. This is just me like really talking to y'all. Like, this is me trying to just be so 100% transparent. But God tells us that a bird doesn't have to worry about where he's going to get his next meal from. And then he said, are you not better than a bird? I'm way better than a bird. So why am I tripping? Why am I tripping? You know the crazy thing about it, chat? I'm going to just spill the beans to y'all, bro. I'm going to be honest. So I was about to take a gambling deal, chat. I was about to take a gambling deal. I was about
Oh
to do a
man.
deal with my bookie. I was giving myself so many reasons to take the deal. I was like, oh, I could pay my employees more. I'll be able to do cool events. I was trying to trick my brain into saying, oh, I'll be able to work more directly with these sporting companies and everything. Chat, bro, I was going to be making a lot of money. A lot of money. and for minimum work. But that's the reason why it's minimum work, is because like you guys clicking that link to the gambling page would be making up what they're paying me. You feel me? Because I even talked to Nico about it, right? And I was like, "Yo, Nico, man, I think I'm gonna do it." And Nico was like, "Don't do it, bro. Like, you're not that person." I was giving Nico every excuse under the bus, and he was just like, "Man, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but this isn't you, bro." And he was like, "Don't do it." My spirit.
That's so awesome, man. And I want to say this too, right? And I know a lot. I may get a lot of comments about this. When it comes to things like gambling and drinking, you know, where the Bible talks about not to be drunk and all this type of things. You know, a lot of people say it's okay to drink. Jesus drunk, the disciples drunk wine and all this type of stuff, which they did drink wine, right? But the truth about it is, a lot of us can't control ourselves. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us have addictive personalities. We have addictive behavior. So once we drink or we smoke or we have that encounter with that woman or that man, our personality or our character is to be addicted to that pleasure, right? The dopamine sensories in our brain begin to fire off, and we take those things and we do it over the top. Like Jidion was saying, if I go to these, have all these celebrities around me, if I go and sit at all these different tournaments and all these different parties with all these different celebrities, is it really worth me going to hell? He was like, nah, it don't really matter, man. So we have to count up the cost of this thing, man. We have to count up the cost of all these situations, right? So what we are imagining in our lifetime of having fun, you have to realize that you may live 70, 80, 90, 100 years. After that 100 years, you have to spend eternity somewhere. You have to spend eternity somewhere. Not another 100 years, eternity, meaning timelessness. So where would you rather spend eternity? Would you rather spend it in a place called the lake of fire, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth, where people will be crying, and once you're tortured, your body that you have will be tortured, and then once it's decayed, it'll regenerate in order that you can be tortured again. Your mind will be tortured, where you are replaying times where people preached to you and told you that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and that you could have repented, but you didn't. Or would you rather spend eternity in heaven? Would you rather spend eternity in the New Jerusalem? Would you rather spend eternity as a ruler in the millennial reign, where you are allowed to do whatever you want, have all the space and opportunity, have all the ability and functions to have and do whatever you want, all the riches that you desire, right? To serve God and worship God with, and do all these things, to be blessed, to have fun, to eat, and all these type of things, all while worshiping God in harmony with other people. Like, who wouldn't choose the latter, right? So that's what Jidion was doing. He was weighing his options out.
Spirit was telling me not to do it, but I was just listening to my flesh, man. Bro, I'm telling you guys, do not listen to your flesh, bro. And you guys might be wondering, like, what are you saying by that? You'll know when you're in that circumstance. Do not give in to your flesh. Your flesh hates everything that your spirit's about, and the spirit wants nothing to do with everything that the flesh is about. So there's never a gray area with those things, you know? It's either black and white. That's one of the things in life. That's one of the only things in life that's black and white, is your flesh. So the flesh and the spirit, what they both want. Fast forward, it's getting closer and closer to us finishing the deal and stuff. And then I was talking to young Don, and he read this one verse, and I hadn't even told him about this yet. But here, let me find it for y'all real quick. Then he told them a parable. A rich man's land was very productive. He thought to himself, what should I do, since I don't have anywhere to store my crops? I will do this, he said. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones and store all my grain and my goods there. Then I'll say to myself, you have many goods stored up for many years. Take it easy, eat, drink, and enjoy yourself. Bro, chat, the crazy thing about it is, I literally had a number in my head. I was like, once I get to this number, I'll be good, and my children are gonna be good, and I'll just be chilling, bro. You know, like I was still gonna be creating content here and there, but like I had a number in my, just like how he did. I had a number in my head, and I was gonna store up to that number. I was gonna store up in my barn to that number, and I was gonna take it easy. I was gonna eat. I was gonna drink, and I was gonna enjoy myself, right? And then in verse 20, but God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life is demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be?" Chat, there's nothing on this earth when you die that is yours. There is nothing that you own. Once we're in the dirt, once we're gone, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like, oh, that's his, he's still gonna hold on to it. It's free real estate, you know? If someone dies and they don't have nobody in their will, what happens? The government takes it. If someone dies and their bank account's been sitting there for a while, what's gonna happen? The bank's gonna take it. There's nothing in this world that when we die is ours. And then in Luke, the next verse, that's how it is with the one who stores up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. And bro, that's literally what I would have been doing if I took that gambling deal, chat. I would be storing up for myself instead of God. I would be storing up, like I was trying to make it seem like, oh, for you guys, just do more giveaways or my parents. But no, it was my own selfish needs. Bro, I don't need any more money.
That is so awesome. And the thing about it is, he is so truthful and honest in his reasoning. Like, this ain't something that, because think about it, he doesn't benefit anything. This is not a prank. This is not a joke. He doesn't benefit anything. If anything, he's losing subscribers. He's losing followers because of his decision, right? So this is something that is genuine, is real, and is authentically thought out. Like, it's authentically thought out by his spirit, man, right? He allowed the Spirit of God to lead him in his thinking. So he's like, man, honestly, if I sit here and try to store up all this money, right? And you saw the scripture that he read in Luke 12. If I sit here and try to store up all this money, something could happen to me tomorrow. I don't get the goal, and the money that I thought I was attaining for myself or my kids or whatever is gone. It's gone. So it's kind of like, where is the true value in life? Where is the true value in life that leads into the next life that will actually last? You see what I'm saying? Like, where do we find value in this life that can go into the next life? Where can we store up treasure in this life that can go into the next life? Let me show y'all a script. Okay, this is 1 Peter 3, verse 3 and 4. It says, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting of the hair and of wearing gold or of putting on or of apparel, right? So all three of these things can be bought with money. All three of these things can be attained with material wealth or material gain. Do you understand what I'm saying? Adorning means to make yourself more attractive or more beautiful, right? To make yourself more appealing, right? So he's saying, don't make yourself more appealing by doing outward things, by plaiting your hair, braiding your hair, by putting on gold or putting on different clothes, right? Don't focus on that adorning. Now, he's not saying that doing these things is a sin or doing these things are wrong, because a lot of people take this verse and use it as a commandment that God is saying, don't wear gold, don't braid your hair, don't put on, because if that's the case, it says, or of putting on of apparel. So he's saying don't put on clothes too, right? So we have to think about it. He's saying don't focus on these things first, because you trying to make yourself beautiful on the outside could leave a vacancy on the inside of you that it actually needs to be addressed, right? So in verse 4, look what it says, but let it be the hidden man of the heart. So make the hidden man of the heart beautiful in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of what? Great price. So look, we have to understand this. The hidden man of the heart is not corruptible. Your spirit is not corruptible. Your soul is not corruptible in the sense that your soul, when you leave this earth, is going to go to the next life. Your flesh, when you leave this earth, will not go to the next life. It will be destroyed. But your spirit and your soul will go to the next life. Do you understand? So The hidden man of the heart is not corruptible. It says, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. What is an ornament, guys? An ornament is used to decorate. An ornament is used to make something look more appealing, more shiny, more brilliant, right? So we are to dress ourselves with meek and quiet spirits, right? It says that these things are in the sight of God of great price. What is valuable in this life that we can take to the next life is your spirit man being dressed up, your spirit man being grown, your inner man, your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions being tied to your spirit, which is made perfect when you receive salvation. So this is what we should be focusing on. We should not be focusing on how we can get more Gucci, how we can get more finances, how we can get more this or more that on the outward, right? Now, I'm not saying don't focus on it at all, but we should primarily focus on our spirit man being made beautiful, our spirit man being dressed up, our inner man reading the word, praying, allowing God to reveal certain things to us so that we can become meek in our spirit. We can have peace and joy and true love in our spirit man that exudes out to our outer man. And then it's easy to get dressed up nice. It's easy to put on your gold chain. It's easy to plait your hair because now your inner man is beautiful. And even if you didn't do that, you will still look beautiful to people because people, they look at your outward appearance, but because they have a spirit, a lot of people can notice your spirit as well. So it's so awesome what Jidion has done. I can see the brilliance even now of his inner man being adorned. He already had some word in him, but now he's going after it with all that he has. He's submitting to God even the more. And it takes a great sacrifice. Y'all don't understand the sacrifice that he made by putting down all that money that he was making in order to chase God fully, right? So big props to you. I know that God is smiling at you, Jidion. I hope you see this. I love you, bro. I didn't know who you were really before this, but I do know that now you are taking this stride with grace. Don't let nobody discourage you. Don't let nobody put you down. And even some of you who may be going through a situation like this, it may not be on the level of Jidion, but you should understand that when you take a stand for Christ, people are going to talk about you. They're going to fall off of you. They're going to speak bad about you, but you should keep the course because there is value in living for God. He said, if any man lose his life or lose friends or mother or father or any of these people or any of these things for my sake, you gain them in heaven. You gain even more in heaven. So we can be rest assured that we have more in heaven when we make these type of sacrifices unto God.
With your lips, but your heart is far from me. I got a heart after God, but the mind of a